Morning. It is January the 2nd. It is Monday morning, day after New Year, and it is 9:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I looked through some stocks, and I think Visa was moving the best. And I looked over here at AUD CAD, which is my favorite currency pair, an OTC. And I see it's moving fairly well. So I am going to see what I can get from AUD CAD. All right, got some levels going here. We'll put this at the top here where we closed. Keep this right here where we had this. See several areas here that were rejected. 1, 2, 3, right here. See this area here that was rejected. Came down here, was rejected up here, consolidated some. And so, obviously this is bottoms. Anything else I need to look at? Pretty much most of this is downtrending pretty good, it seems like, from this point. So I'm not gonna go any further back. This is all I need here. This is all I need. All right, so let's see if I'm looking for a buy or a sell. Right now, I'm still looking to sell. We are under the 87 period moving average here. Oh, let me put up my 3%. Let's see, put my 3% here. All right, we're getting a rejection right here. All right, let's see, nice rejection. If I am gonna sell again, I want to see this break. I want to see it break below this level here. I see it break below this level. Now I'm watching this wick right here where we got that rejection. So I might need to go ahead and put a line there. Put a line here. So we are getting rejections down here. It's 1, it's 2. I'll go ahead and call this 3. Even though it didn't come all the way down to the bottom, I'm gonna call it the third rejection. Still came near that area. Buyers still don't have the strength here to carry on, obviously. Strength keeps bouncing off the 50 here, as you can see. So maybe the sellers are taking a breath, or buyers could be possibly building strength. Looking at the momentum here on the MACD, and as you can see, it's going in toward the signal line and then coming back up. All right, we broke that support here on the stochastic, which is the D period. Want to see the momentum come in. I'd like to see this MACD cross below the signal line here. And we're getting that rejection again, getting that rejection. Here we got the crossing. Get the crossing. I want to see it break now. Got to break this level. 13 seconds left. Are we going to break the level? 7 seconds left. And we're getting constant rejections here. All right, I'm looking at the stochastic. I'm sorry, the MACD looking good. Just looking for this break and closing. passing this wick. I want to see it close under here. I want to see it close. Want to see you close. 33 seconds left. That'd be a nice closing right there. Let's see if we can close under this area. Come on. And we're getting a rejection, but I'm pretty sure I'm still waiting to sell. Still waiting to sell. Ooh, push it all the way back up. I don't think they're going to be able to hold this for long. Now I'm just waiting for a push. We did have a break under this level where we didn't get any closing, so I'm just waiting to push below this wick here. Here it is. How much is it going to pull back? I'm going to take it. I'm going to pull back a lot. Nice rejection there. Rejections here. 8 seconds left. Coming back through, getting rejected. All right, so my whole madness behind this is really seeing that the buyers were rejecting as the price was coming down. It was pulling back, but as we got up toward the 4-period moving average, see how the 4 is coming down right here. So if you look at it starting from this point here, once this candle right here closed, we had a push up from the buyers here to the 9. Momentum started shifting. And then we had a further push down here from the sellers. Buyers pushed it up a little bit on this line here. Price came down, still under the 4-period moving average. Came down. Buyers did what? Pushed it up into the 4-period moving average right here. What happened? They didn't push it above the 4. Right? Then what happened next? Sellers came back down here, pushed price down, kept pushing price down here where we got spiked out. Buyers came up and did what? Pushed it into the 4-period moving average. So what I did was on this one, I did what I would what I would normally do on my Kotex account when I trade a little aggressively. That was a little aggressive move, very aggressive move. But I just saw where I'm like, okay, I'm getting spiked out, but the buyers are really not taking it much of anywhere. So I'm going to take this chance and risk a bit. Actually, I should have brought this right here down. This should have came down. This shouldn't have stayed at 300. So that's a no-no. So I wasn't even thinking about that. That was a really bad move as far as risk management. Should have brought this risk down from 3% maybe to about 1.5%. But anyway, sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget, y'all. But anyway, so again, so we had that. It was between the 9 and the 4. As you can see, the buyers are not really doing a good job at pushing the price up a lot. And as you can see, even now we got a rejection from the 9. Look, and now you have a nice 15-second opportunity. Again, it's only 15 seconds. So as we go up into these smaller moving averages, and this is the reason why I use these smaller ones, because it really shows me where price is going. Because if At one point, I was just using the. Let me take these off. Blah blah blah. Let me see. Which one is the? I forgot which one. Okay, this is the. I'm sorry. I said the 9. This is actually the 10-period moving average. Take that off. Where's the 4? Where's the 4? Okay, yeah. So if I'm just using the 26, I mean, I could use the 26. I could use it and just wait for price to come up into the 26 and see how it reacts after 26. And look, you got this nice bearish candle here, came back up to the 26 and got a rejection. There's your 15-second trade, right? So I could use the larger moving averages as well to do this. But I like to have the smaller moving averages because price does get pretty far from the larger ones. Like right here, look at this. So where is price really going? Where is a good boundary that I can find to get my nice, what you call it? What am I looking for? Resistance. Yeah, resistance. My mind just went blank. Those resistance trades. So look at the 4-period moving average. Oops, that's the 200. I don't need that. That's the 10. Look at the 4. Watch this. Look at the 4. It's acting as resistance as it's coming down here. When it comes down like this, when it's in a nice diagonal form, look at this. It's coming down diagonally. And now you got price coming down here. Now, if I was to buy here, okay, well, I see price coming down. If I was to buy here, if I was to sell here and then the buyers push it back up and I get spiked out, guess what? I can go back in because I'm looking at the stochastic, how it's coming down. This is what price action is doing. Again, I said I use my stochastic to see what price action is doing. You have this nice space between the K period and the D period. I have my MACD backing me up saying, hey, man, there's a lot of momentum here to go. MACD starting to spread apart from the signal line. Had this nice strong bar. You got the strength coming straight down. You're under the 50% mark here. So this area, if I got spiked out, more than likely probably would have on this wick. If we were going in for a 15-second buy, I would get back in right up in through here as the price came back down. Maybe 2 trades. I think I did a little too much on that last trade, but anyway. But as I saw getting rejected right here on the 4, I'm gonna go back in. Because price is coming down in the market, there's momentum being measured in the market. Selling pressure, that is. Selling momentum and selling pressure. So I'm going to go back in for that sell. Here it is again. Kept coming back down. And look, here's a rejection from the buyers. Bam. Right up into what? The 4-period moving average. What happens? Comes right back down for at least a 15-second trade. I know that's a 15. This has to be a 15-second trade here. And eventually it does break up here, but you have some nice opportunities right here. Also, let me bring the 10 back in. And so as it came back up, it came past the 4. Here's the next small moving average, kind of consolidated a little bit up here. What happens? Comes down. Here's your resistance now, the 10-period moving average. And also you have this horizontal right here. So when we kept getting all these rejections at the bottom and the buyers kept pulling the price back, I was like, okay, yeah, they're not doing much of a job at pushing it up. It's not like they're pushing the price way up here somewhere, like way up to the top. They're just pushing it up enough to try to keep it from these levels right here. I call these micro levels. If you look how many lines we have here. All right, so that's one of those little areas where you just have these little micro pullbacks here, and the sellers are just coming in to tell the sellers are really dominating the market, and all the buyers are doing is just doing these small micro pullbacks. So we could sell from any of these 2 moving averages, either from the 4 as it's coming down, and look from the 9. It's not even hitting the 26 yet. This is the 26. Price have not even hit the 26 yet. So what? Look. Here's a wick, here's a wick, here's a wick, here's a nice strong red candle, here's a nice wick here again. Now at this point, buyers actually did push it above the 9, but is it going to get rejected from the sellers? It's getting rejected now. Rejection now. So as of this point here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. At least the last 12 minutes, it have not closed above the 9-period moving average. Now it finally closed above the 9-period moving average. So the buyers actually finally got it above the 9-period to close. So And seeing this, and actually I got in, this was the candle right here. Right here, we saw that rejection as it was coming up. Okay, we got spiked out. Okay, but then it got a rejection here, and then it came back up, and we were out of the trade by that time. So that was it was a very risky move. Very risky. Very risky. As you can see, but look what happened. Look how it's coming back down, and look, it came back up. See how it came back up right here? And look what happened. Dropped right back down. Got a rejection off the what? The 4-period moving average. That's what happened there. So a lot of times it is kind of aggravating. I get kind of aggravated when I get in those micro pullbacks. So I'm like, okay, if this thing goes up to the 4, I'm gonna kind of light in on it. I went a little too hard. Shouldn't have done that. But again, just from experience and probability, that's what we base our traders off of, probability, and so the probability of this bouncing off the 4-period moving average was pretty high at the time because, again, we still had the momentum being measured in the market right here. It was right at the bottom here. We still had this, and actually at that time, I think this was red, but I think it turned green as the buyers pushed it up in here. And look, this small candle here still could have got in on some trades right here, even on this small candle. Still could have got in. Why? Look at the market how it's still moving down. It's only 15 seconds. Again, only 15 seconds. Look at this wick. Look at this. All these could have been small trades here as the market was coming down. Now, I usually like to have bigger candles, longer candles. But if I'm actually, and it's weird today because as I started preparing for my trading day, I kind of, think about my trades and how I'm going to trade. I was thinking, I'm like, I might do some moving average trading today. Just use my moving averages, which I haven't really done. I've been doing mainly support and resistance off the horizontals. And I just thought about it. I'm like, I'm going to do some moving average trading. And so, I guess it was in my subconscious and I did it. So yeah, that was my whole madness behind that trade there. And look, here we go again. Now we're at the 26. So this thing, that's why I have these moving averages here, because they come in levels. As you break the 9, you're breaking the 9-period moving average here. And what happens? Now you're up. Now the 26 is the next largest moving average. What happens? You got a rejection off the 26. Why? Look at the strength. The buyers did not have the strength to push that price further up. So that would have been a nice trade as this candle was coming down off the moving average. And once we break past the 26, what happens? Now this is going to be your level to watch as far as moving averages. If you don't have your horizontals. But as you can see up here, we didn't even get near the 87-period moving average. Again, that's why I don't use the 200. I don't really need it. Here's a good example here. As we broke below the 87-period moving average right here, look how price came back up. And at this time, the moving average was still pretty close together, but price came up near the 87, off the 9. The 26 was still above the 87 at the time, but the moving averages, of course, they kept spreading out. And of course, now you got the volatility and all the momentum you need in the market to come down. But yeah, so we just used the moving average on that trade. And, again, that was a very risky move there. I should have changed this from 3% to like 1.5%. So again, please don't do that. But all these were spike outs here. Look at that spike out. Look how the market was coming down. See how the market was coming down? I'm like, okay, yeah, the market's coming down. Great. And look what happens. We got spiked up. Look what happened here, though. Look. You see at this top, look, it came right back down. Why? Because we're going up to that 4-period moving average. All right. Second trade. What happened? Market coming down. Look, coming down. Okay, we're doing good. What happened next? Pullback. Got on the pullback. I think we doubled up on this one. Let me see. Did we double up? Look at the time. Yeah, 703, 703. Yeah, so that's the same trade. Doubled up on that one. Got that pullback. So I'm like, okay, yeah, we pulling back. So right about at this level here, once we pull back here, I'm like, okay, I'm about to light in on this thing because they're not bringing the price up at all. So as we pull back up here, I'm like, I'm going to take this trade. And of course, I think the exchange brought the price down a little bit. And eventually we got the trade down. Again, very risky trade. because of what I was risking. I was risking 3%, and I did multiple trades, so that was very risky. But just kind of having the confidence in that moving average, and just hey, kind of went in a little bit, a little too hard though, a little too hard, definitely too hard. I admit that it was too hard. But again, look at the 26, came right off the 26. So that's moving average trading in a nutshell. So I think I'll call this video moving average strategy. All right, I'm out. We made our wow, we made our goal was what was our goal? Our goal was 10,500 and something. Goal was 10,506. That was the goal, 10,506. So we will definitely use the extra $200 and something for tomorrow. So I'm not going to do 5% of 10,763. I'm going to do again 5% of 1,506. So the goal for tomorrow is $11,000. I'm sorry, $11,000. Yeah, $11,031. $11,031.67. So all I need for tomorrow will be about maybe 2% tomorrow. So I just need like $300 to finish this trade. Actually, less than that. Yeah, actually less than that. So yeah, we have a little bit for tomorrow. Went in way too hard on this trade right here. Way too hard. But anyway, we got it. And that's all that matters. Moving average trading. Moving average trading. All right. All right, I'm out. Hope you guys learned something from this. And hope you don't do what I just did. Please don't do that. I mean, I was a little frustrated with those pullbacks. I really was. So there was a little emotional, a little emotion in that. So just a tad bit, and that happens. It happens, And so I'm not too ashamed. It happens, I was kind of like, man, these fools keep pulling me back, getting on some good trades. I'm getting pulled back on, so I just waited for it to go up to the 4, and kind of lit in. But anyway, I'm out. Have a great day. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Enjoy.